All right, now Shaq's getting his own statue outside of Staples. We're trying to figure out what the pose should be. It should either be the Portland this, or the one where he's like, ah, and diving into the cameras. Coming to you pre-tape from the Best Coast Show studios. This is the Best Coast Show. I'm your host, Albert Aguilera. That is my producer, Curtis Sage. And Curtis, Kobe Bryant prevented the Lakers from making history the other night.
Yeah, he had to score a lot of points for us to not lose our 11th straight game. So today we're going to talk about the Lakers and the Kings. We have a combo episode. The Lakers were on a 10-game losing streak until Kobe came in and scored 38 points. We'll talk about that. DeAngelo Russell, we got to talk about that situation, that may be a trade in the works for DeAngelo. I don't think so, but we've been hearing rumors. Bryon Scott, is this going to be his last season with the Lakers? Will he get fired at the end of the year? Julius Randle's been a double-double machine. Not very high on points, but he's been producing. We're going to talk about the Kings, who, of course, are 31-6-3, 65 points. They're first in the Pacific, fourth in the Western Conference. Kopitar, he signed an 8-year, $80 million contract. Trade for Bufflin could happen, another defensive player. And the Kings go out on Fury Road for the next 5 out of 6 games, playing some tough teams. And then, of course, we got to talk about the legend Bob Miller. He is recovering from his surgery. Let's get started.
He had a quadruple bypass. That's
Dude.
4. That means all 4 heart valves were operating.
Shit wasn't going right in there.
That's crazy.
How old is Bob? Do we know how old Bob Miller is?
I don't know. He's got to be in his 60s, right?
Something. Yeah.
He's gotta
When
be
you
in
have
his 60s.
quadruple, I'm guessing that is he doesn't eat right. What's
That's
going
crazy.
on? He
I
doesn't
mean,
exercise.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Your heart's got 4 chambers, and all 4 chambers of his heart were clogged.
Yeah, but it was successful, and he's going to be hopefully back before the end of the year.
Successful surgery, so hopefully he's back by the end of the year, and he can start doing games as we go into our cup run.
It'd be awesome to have him for the cup. I mean, that we are going. I mean, we'll get to the Kings later. Let's start with the Lakers. Let's rewind back, start with them. We were on a 10-game losing streak. This team was terrible. Their body language was bad. The Lakers were, I think, last in the West in points per game. They've gone all the way down to the last there. Second worst team in basketball, essentially. Just demoralizing. And then they play the T-Wolves, and they win a pretty good game. Kobe had to score 38 to win this game, but this is not a good team right now, and we don't know exactly what's going on.
I don't think Kobe's going to play for a week. He's going to be sore. His knees are going to hurt. His hips are going to be bad.
He worked hard in that game.
He did work hard, but it's like he didn't want that on his resume. The Lakers lost 10 games in a row. They tied a franchise record in losing games, and the Lakers are the only team in NBA history as a franchise to not have lost 11 straight or more. And Kobe's like, I don't need that on my resume. He's already on the worst Lakers team ever, which was, 2 years ago was that Laker team?
Yeah, this one's worse now.
So he could be on the worst 2 Laker teams in history.
Yeah.
And we want to keep it that way, though, because we don't want to lose a top 3 pick.
Yeah, we don't want to. That was a good game to win, to break that streak. They were so demoralized the last couple weeks of losing all these games. But, and Kobe, it just shows you Kobe, if he was healthy all the time, he could still be one of the best players in the NBA. He really did. I mean, it was against the T-Wolves, but Wiggins was going up against him. I mean, Wiggins is a good player. He's 20-year-old or whatever he is. He's a young player, and he was guarding Kobe, and Kobe scored 38. He torched him.
Well,
I mean, it's pretty awesome.
That's something you expect from your team against any team that's bad. Your team should always be beating up on bad teams. And you're right. If Kobe were healthy, his skill set is still there.
If he was healthy.
His basketball mind is still there. His basketball IQ is still there. But age, it catches up to everybody.
Yeah.
So the Kobe you're watching now still has the same skill set as the Kobe of 10 years ago, only the body is 10 years older, so it doesn't make a difference.
So if one night a week he does this great Kobe game and then he doesn't play the rest of the time, we'd be happy with that.
Pick. No, we wouldn't, because they'd lose their top 3 pick. If
Okay.
Kobe played once a week like this, they would end up, how many games they got left? Like 30?
30, yeah.
They would end up winning another 6-7 games.
Oh, we can't have that.
We can't have that.
Okay.
No. We need his parting gift needs him and Bryon Scott's parting gifts to the Lakers need to be what's his face Simmons out of LSU.
Ben Simmons, yeah, he's pretty amazing. DeAngelo Russell, we've been hearing rumors about trades. I mean, the trade deadline's coming up with the NBA and with the NHL. The trade deadline's coming up, and we've heard DeAngelo Russell's name. People are saying that he's not panning out, that he's kind of a bust. I actually don't think he's a bust. This kid's 19 years old. It's his first year in the league. He's been playing pretty well, considering he's got Bryon Scott riding his ass every game. I mean, I guess questioning his tenacity, questioning, I guess when you get questioned as a player, you'd be pissed off. And he was moping around, kind of pissed. And
listen, it's tough. You're 19 years old. You're taking over for Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is passing you a torch, and you're taking on the responsibility of the city of Los Angeles.
Well, let's rewind. I don't think that DeAngelo is picking up the torch for Kobe. I mean, he is going to be a good player for the Lakers in the future. I do not think they're going to trade him, but he's not taking Kobe's torch. Somebody else is, but it's not DeAngelo Russell.
Okay, but as of right now, it is, because there's no one else on the team that's going to be doing that.
That's
He's
true.
19 years old, and look, as much as I love the Kings and the Dodgers, let's face it, LA is a Laker town.
Yes.
Okay? So you're taking on not only this franchise, but the city. When people think Los Angeles, oh, it's Kobe.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, people don't go, who plays in Adrian Gonzalez plays in Los Angeles. Jay Kopitar plays. No, they say Kobe Bryant plays in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
He plays for the Lakers.
Yeah,
so you're 19 years old, and the entire world has you under a microscope, and you're playing for a coach that hates you. So these
we think he does. We don't know. We're not in the law.
Trade rumors are not necessarily about, Russell's not doing this, Russell's not doing that. It's more, there's so much tension, and you see him in post-game interviews. He's got his head down, and he's kind of like, we're out there, we got each other's backs. And it's like, dude, they're talking to you. Put your head up and talk to the reporter. But I have to applaud this young man, because he's 19 years old, and he's being very mature about the situation, where a lot of kids would have
said some questionable things, though.
But he hasn't blown up, where a lot of kids would have blown up and would have gone on Twitter rants or threatened to fight somebody on Instagram.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, Twitter didn't exist when Kobe was a rookie. Kobe didn't start. He didn't play this many minutes. DeAngelo was playing more minutes than Kobe played when Kobe was a rookie by far. Although that Lakers team, albeit was a good team, this team is not a good team, so it's a different world. But if Twitter didn't exist then, the internet, I mean, we didn't have a show. People weren't talking this much back then, smack. And I think we just need to let this kid play and develop. I think Byron's starting to play him more at the end of games, which is good. He's starting to I think if anybody gets traded, it's going to be Swaggy P, because he's got the big contract and we don't really need him, or Lou Williams or Brandon Bass, one of those three guys. We don't need any more young players. We don't need more draft picks. We got 4 young players.
The team
we don't
is
need
really
more.
young. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The team is really young, and Bryon Scott's got this whole mentality of, tough love, I'm old school, I'm this and that. Well, these kids are not old school, because these kids are 19, 20, 22, 23.
Yeah.
And you have these kids that are kind of like, just let us play. We can help this team win. And what happened the other night, DeAngelo Russell is having a great night. He gets pulled, and Bryon Scott says, well, I don't need him trying to take over the game.
What the fuck?
That's exactly what you want. You want a player. I mean, that's what Kobe
He's the
was
point
doing.
guard.
You want your point guard to take over this game and help your team win. You want him to take over and dominate. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, hey, Curtis, I think you're doing too great of a job of producing this show. Let's pull you off to the side.
So he didn't want a player that was playing good. Byron didn't want him to come in.
He literally said, I don't want you to develop.
Yeah.
He literally said, I do not need you getting any better.
What we want him taking over again. We want him confidence.
You need him to have confidence, and that's
taking over games.
And he's taking that away from him.
I mean, Jordan Clarkson and Russell play similar positions. They play differently. Clarkson's a better driver. He's a better all-around player right now. But Russell, by next year, the year after, is going to be fantastic. So I think the Lakers...
With Russell and Randall... And whoever we pick up in the first, hopefully it's Simmons next year, this team would be really great over the next 2-3 years as they develop together. And
we'll get a couple big free agents. I mean, we have a lot of money.
The salary cap is shooting through the roof over the next 2 years. So having this really young core that's developing together and being very well together, plus the draft pick that we're going to get, people are going to want to come to Los Angeles and play.
Yeah. Well, now that Kobe's gone.
And now that Kobe's gone. Apparently it's difficult to play with him.
So Bryon Scott, is he out at the end of this year?
I think so. I honestly think that hey, look, we gave you your time. The players clearly don't like you. You didn't get results doing things your way. And as the owner of a franchise, I have to have my franchise player. I mean, it's different. If Phil Jackson doesn't like somebody, sorry, bro, you're gone, because it's Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
But who's Bryon Scott? Bryon Scott is the tanking specialist. He's the guy that's the perennial lottery pick.
He is tanking specialist. I don't know who they would replace him with. It really depends on what direction we go in free agency. But when you got young guys, so a lot of these guys will be in their second and third year next year, they're going to need to develop. And there's no system. When I watch the Lakers play, except for the game against Wolves the other night, the 10-game losing streak, seriously, there was no system out there. They were not even doing anything that looked like they had a clue of what they were doing. And but Byron's supposed to be this defensive coach, and I don't see defense
sucks.
happening.
I mean, and
He can't go out there and play for him, granted.
All
But
year, we've been 10 points upside down on the differential. And you can't be upside down 10 points, and you have someone who's supposedly a defensive specialist. Our defense is terrible. Our offense, as you said, is the worst in the league now, or the worst in the West.
yeah, and Kobe has the most
What is your
assists on the
excuse?
team.
Kobe Bryant should not be leading your team in assists. It's Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Like, this guy is synonymous with being a ball hog.
He's got the most assists of the team, so that tells you something too.
And this is a guy that doesn't play every night either.
Now, Julius Randle, I'm liking the way he's playing. He's been a double-double machine.
I'm loving the way he's playing because of that. In the offseason, I would tell Julius Randle, broski, hit the weight room.
Yeah.
He's 6'9". This guy is 6'9". He's 21 years old. He could be an extremely dominating force in the paint.
Well, 6'9" is not tall for what he plays. If he was 6'11", he would be really dominating. But he's 6'9".
6'9" with some muscle mass, move people around you. I understand that.
If he get added 20 pounds of muscle, he's already a big kid, and he has an attitude. Like, he doesn't...
He's tough.
He's a tough dude. I like him a lot, and he knows how to get rebounds. If he can get those points up to, let's say, he's at 11, 12 points a game, that's because his minutes are 26, 27. But next year, if he's playing 30 to 35 minutes a game and he's averaging 20 points, I mean, we're talking about he's going to be an all-star next year. He needs to work on some more moves. He's only got a few moves that he has, but he is ferocious going to the boards, and he knocks people out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, you have two kind of guys that are 7 feet tall. You have the
Slow.
Shaq type, the Shaq type that are going to sit under the paint, give me the ball, I'm going to destroy whoever's behind me so I can dunk in their face.
The NBA isn't like that anymore.
Right, and now you have these guys like Porzingis. It's like, oh, I'm 25, 30 feet out. I'll shoot it from here and make it.
Julius doesn't need to get a three-point shot, but he's fast. He can bring the ball down the court, so he's quick. He needs to use that speed, use his athleticism, and really work on a few moves within 10 feet of the hoop. I don't need the dude shooting threes. That's not what we need. But he needs to pull back about 10 feet and really make those shots. But other than that, I'm really liking the way he's playing right now. He's been dunking a lot.
Under the right coach, these guys can be very good over the next couple of years.
Yeah. So it's not going to be Bryon Scott.
Yeah, so Laker fans, I know we're like in the dark ages right now, but you can kind of see a light at the end of that tunnel.
Teeny bit.
Just
teeny little bit of light. Teeny light. Okay, let's talk about the Kings, who do not need to, there's a big light at the end of the tunnel right now. What's going on with the Kings?
Well, we're still in first place, but as Curtis said earlier, we're going on Fury Road. In February, we got 4 home games. We're going to go out. We're going to play the Metro and the Atlantic divisions. We're going to be doing games against the East. I'm more excited to see them play against the Capitals. That is a possible Stanley Cup preview.
That's a great game.
That's going to be their first game against Justin Williams. And, that's a guy who helped them win 2 cups here.
Yeah.
His role there is differently than it is when he was with the Kings. But that team can score at will. You have the best offensive team in the league. You got the best defensive team in the league. And their goaltending in Washington hopefully is great.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's insanely good right now.
Yeah, so that's
going to
a
be a
preview.
That's going to be awesome.
It's a preview Stanley Cup, but they have a couple games before that game that are tough. Who are they playing? They play the Ducks coming up.
Yeah,
we got
the Ducks at home. Other than that, everyone else is on the road.
They go Bruins, Islanders. We got Rangers, Devils. Those are all tough games.
The Devils are the only team there that's not in a playoff position. The Ducks are technically in one because they're the number 3 team in the Pacific.
Yeah.
But the Ducks have been playing very well since December, so they're projected to end up with 94, 95 points right now. So they're projected to make the playoffs at this point.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a tough thing. We've got so we're calling it Fury Road.
Yes.
This
February is Fury Road for the Kings.
Yeah. Kopitar, we finally got that contract. We've been talking about this for months.
That took forever, and it was an 8-year, $80 million deal. And the Kings could offer him the 8th year because he was playing here in free agency. He could have only gone to 7 years.
Yeah.
And again, I think he deserves every penny of that. And like I said in the previous episodes, but $10 million hit is a huge hit for a hard cap league. And you got Tampa that's offering Stamkos supposedly the offer that's reported out there is 8 years, $68 million.
Ooh.
And a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's an insult." Oh, blah blah blah. Stamkos is so good. Stamkos is
he's younger.
25 years old. Yeah. So he's younger. He should be getting $10 million as well. Blah blah blah. All right, guys, listen, I always have to tell people this about the NHL and how the NHL is a hard cap league, and you know that. And you know that I'm really big on the cap numbers. And here's another thing you guys don't understand. because you don't take this into consideration. Athletes have leeches. They're called agents. They're called managers. They're called side chicks, et cetera, et cetera. Now, these leeches are very, very, very well aware of taxes. In California, Curtis and I live in California.
Yeah, our taxes are high.
We work in the entertainment industry.
Taxes high.
You guys, most of our viewers, you probably live in California too. So you know the government rapes you for at least 33% of your paycheck. You know who they do that to as well? Athletes.
Yeah.
So Kopitar, who's making $10 million a year, who's hitting the Kings with a $10 million a year hit,
he's really making
is
6.
not going to be making 10. He'll be making less than 8 because it's going to be Uncle Sam that's going to reach into his pocket, his manager, his agent, and anybody else that works for him. Okay. Now Stamkos in Florida, in the state where anytime you hear about any stupid shit that happens in the news, it happens in Florida. Florida has no state income tax. So if they
his
say
$7 million is equivalent
his
to
8.5, it would come out to be 8.5. His 8.5 would be the 8.5. So not only is he taking home more money, he's also helping Tampa with their cap hit, which is great. Plus, he's Canadian. $8.5 million in Canada is a ton of money right now.
Yeah.
Our dollar is worth 33% more than theirs is.
Yeah.
Okay, so guys, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that an athlete is or is not the highest paid person on paper. It's how much money are you taking home? And Stamkos would be taking home more money than Kopitar at that rate.
Exactly.
Because of taxes. People don't, how often do you see an athlete win with their franchise and then go, oh, I'm going to go play in Texas now. I'm going to go play in Florida now. Why? Because of state taxes. Exactly. Taxes in California are insanely high.
They don't like Texas and Florida?
No. Why do you think so many athletes have their permanent residency in Florida?
Yeah.
There's no state income tax there.
Exactly.
That's
Shaq
crazy.
lived there for a while.
So I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's remotely fair that the NHL goes, well, we're not going to reveal cap numbers for next year or the year after, et cetera, because we have to see what the dollar in Canada is going to do because we have to help the 6 franchises in Canada. Okay, well, what about the teams that play in California? When the Dodgers originally signed Zach Greinke, they took him from Texas, and Greinke flat out said it. I came to California to play for the Dodgers because of the money, and the Dodgers overpaid him to compensate for the taxes, which is what the Kings have to do, the Ducks have to do it, the Sharks have to do it. Overpay a player to compensate for the taxes they're going to get hit on when teams like Tampa don't.
Now,
that's not fair. The NHL needs to give a team some kind of cap relief stipend because, oh yeah, we understand that you have to offer more money because of the ridiculous taxes in California, which are the highest in the country.
That makes sense.
That's not fair.
That'd be a good plan to have.
That's so not fair. We have to help the 6 Canadian teams, but they won't help us.
I don't see anything changing, but that would be a good plan. Maybe you need to bring that up.
I'm furious now. I'm fired up.
Okay, let's talk about the adding of defense. We've already been adding defensemen, but now we've been adding. Look,
Luchen's been doing really well for us.
The Kings are all in right now. I think. They're going for it. The Cavalier has been playing amazing. This dude
5 goals in 11 games.
He was riding the bench for 22 straight games or something. What was the reason?
Healthy scratches.
Healthy scratches.
He just didn't want to play in Philly. Nobody wants to play in Philly.
He didn't want to play in Philly. They didn't want him to play. Fans hated him. He's 35.
And he was taking up how much of their cap? This guy's getting paid a lot of money to ride the bench.
4 or 5 million.
Fans don't like that.
But he gets to the Kings, and the dude's on fire. It's like he's 26.
Yeah.
The guy is incredible now.
And it's a change of scenery. A lot of people don't believe in that, but a change in scenery for a player is a huge thing. As LA fans, we saw that with Manny Ramirez. We saw it with Hanley Ramirez. It's just one of those things. When the season started and we traded for Milan, a lot of people were like, "Oh man, he's old, he's slow." He's not old. He's 25.
Yeah.
And then Curtis and I weren't so sold on Milan because we're kind of like, okay, this is a guy that wants to play in Vancouver. Is he here for us? Now that we see that he is here for us, absolutely. Yeah. We love Milan, the luchador.
Yeah,
This guy's great. And you come to trust what Dean Lombardi does. This guy is super smart. This guy does the craziest deals. And yeah, does he overspend? Absolutely.
Yeah.
This guy is like a rapper at a nightclub with a Black American Express card. Okay? So he's going to give up prospects. He's going to give up draft picks. We don't have a draft pick in this coming draft for the first round because we traded that away. Sekera ended up getting that with the Hurricanes deal. So, yeah, if he wants to go after Bufflin, I'm cool with it.
He's adding a lot of veterans, that have experience.
Bufflin has it. He won a cup with the Blackhawks in 2010.
Yeah. He's adding that, and I think it's just great. It's showing Kings fans that, he's serious. But I think it's showing the Kings. They've been the last few games they haven't been playing so well, but they've got a pretty commanding lead right now, and they can, by adding all these great players, I think they can really kind of balance their squad out and not put all that pressure on a few guys to do everything. And when you don't expect something like the Vinny coming up big right now. I mean, I didn't when they got him. I'm like, why are they getting a 35-year-old?
Exactly. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, he's 35 years old. He's getting overpaid. So Philly picked up half that contract. He's going to be a fourth line center. So he's just going to be.
And he's retiring.
He's a big guy.
He's big. Yeah.
He's not retiring. He's got 2 years left on his contract. The stipulation in bringing him over was a gentleman's agreement that he would agree to retire at the end of the year.
But
so
now that he's in Los Angeles, he may go, you know what, I kind of love it here.
LA's great. And that's why players have this change of scenery mentality. They come to Los Angeles. The weather's great. The women are hot. There's great
Well,
food.
He's married and has 3 kids. So
you
I
can
don't
still
know.
look.
Okay.
Just don't touch.
Okay.
Have you seen the chicks that go to Kings games?
Yeah.
Right. So a change in scenery is always really, really a great deal to these players because you are leaving a miserable city like Philadelphia. Yeah. Philadelphia right now is under like 5 feet of snow.
Yeah.
Okay. And
we're not.
Philadelphia fans are known to be the kind of assholes that they root more for your team to lose than their team to win.
Exactly.
They are happy seeing you miserable than their own team winning.
Yeah.
That's the kind of fans that you got out in Philly. Those aren't the kind of fans you have here in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, so the Kings are looking really good right now. Like we said, Fury Road's happening. This will be a little bit of a test for the team. But if they can get past the All-Star break, still kind of where they're at right now, I think they're in really good shape to end this season on a strong note. We'll be talking a lot more Kings over the next couple weeks. There's going to be it's going to get exciting here in Los Angeles because we're going to hopefully have another championship back here. It's been a while, 2 years, but it's been a while since we've been able to talk championship. We haven't been able to talk about it on our show, so it's going to be pretty exciting. I think that this is going to be where we're headed to. What's our gift of the day?
All right, guys, we're going to leave you with our gift of the day. Our gift of the day is DeAngelo Russell doing his little celebratory dance because he knows Bryon Scott's going to be on his way out. He's going to stay here. His minutes are up. His points per game are up. And he sees that light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, that's him seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Is that dance him saying, Bryon Scott's no longer going to be my coach? Is that his, happy face?
It might be. I like it. That could be the new dance.
Yeah.
He gets to hang out with some of the new Rams players that are in town and show them how to dance.
Nice.
That we'll call it the DeAngelo. Or should we call it the Russell?
Ooh,
I like the Russell. Anyways, guys, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in again. Don't forget to stalk us on Twitter @BestCoastShow, and you have a good night.